better pay your rent right now!
Listen, let me tell you about Mama Caro. This woman,
You think I care about your sick child? Does NEPA care about my bill?
was the type of landlady that made you understand why people believe in karma. I'm talking about the kind of wickedness that will make a demon look at her and say, sister, calm down small. Number 27 Ojuelega Street in Lagos was her kingdom. And I mean kingdom like she was Pharaoh and everyone else was building pyramids with their bare hands under the hot sun. The compound had 15 rooms, small rooms that she rented to people who couldn't afford anywhere else. Students from Yabatek, market women from Tejosho, mechanics from the motor park, people who are just trying to survive in Lagos, the city that chews you up and spits you out if you're not careful. Mama Caro was 52 years old, built like a woman who had been eating other people's joy for breakfast. Her voice could wake the dead, not in a resurrection way, but in a even the dead are annoyed way. Every morning at 6 a.m. sharp, you would hear her banging on doors with her koboko, that thick horsewhip that made a sound like thunder when it hit anything. "Where is my money?" she would scream, loud enough that people in Surulere would hear her from Ojueleba. "You think this is your papa's house? Pay me or pack come out." The rent was 180,000 naira per room per year. Not even per year, sha. She would increase it randomly. This month, it's 180,000. Next month, she wakes up and decides it's now 200,000. You complain, she will fight you. You try to pack out, she will lock your room with all your property inside and dare you to call police. And you can't call police because her brother-in-law is a DPO at Surunere police station. In room 5 lived Sister Ngozi, a widow with 3 children who sold vegetables at Tejrosho Market. Her husband died 2 years ago, heart attack at 38, just like that, leaving her with 3 mouths to feed and rent to pay. Sister Ngozi was the type of woman who would wake up at 4 a.m. to go to Mile 12 Market, buy vegetables wholesale, then sell them retail all day just to make 3,000 naira profit. 3,000 naira. And from that 3,000 naira, she had to feed her children, pay their school fees, buy medicine when they were sick, and somehow survive. One month, her daughter Chioma fell seriously ill. Typhoid. The hospital bill was 85,000 naira. Sister Ngozi spent everything she had saved for rent. When rent day came, she could only pay 95,000 naira out of 180,000 naira. She went to Mama Caro with the money and tears streaming down her face like Erin Ijesha waterfall. "Mama, please," she begged, kneeling down right there in the compound. "My daughter was sick. I used the money for hospital. Next month, I will complete everything. I swear on my children's life." Mama Caro looked at the money in Sister Ngozi's hand. Then she did something that made everyone watching gasp. She spat on the ground, like someone had offered her poison. "You think I'm running Red Cross? You think I care about your sick pikin? Does NEPA care about my bills? Does LASTMA care about my car? So why should I care about your daughter?" Then, and I'm not exaggerating, this woman grabbed Sister Ngozi by her hair and dragged her across the compound. Dragged her like a bag of rice. Sister Ngozi's wrapper came loose. Her knees scraped against the concrete. Her children were crying, screaming, "Mama, Mama!" But Mama Caro didn't care. She beat Sister Ngozi in front of everyone, slapped her face, hit her with that koboko, called her useless woman, foolish woman, irresponsible mother. The other tenants watched. Some covered their mouths, some looked away, but nobody helped because everyone was afraid. If you helped Sister Ngozi today, tomorrow Mama Caro would make your life hell. "If you don't bring my complete money by tomorrow 6 a.m., I will throw all your property into the gutter. You and your children will sleep under Ojueleba Bridge. Try me and see." That night, Sister Ngozi borrowed 85,000 naira from 5 different people at 20% interest. She paid Mama Caro the next morning, but the shame, the pain, the humiliation, those things stayed in her heart like a wound that wouldn't heal. In room 11 lived Babatunde, an old man, 67 years old, who drove downfall bus from Ojuelegba to CMS. Babatunde had lived in that compound for 10 years. 10 years, never missed rent, never caused trouble. Would even help fix things around the compound for free because that's the kind of person he was. But one day, his downfall broke down. Engine trouble. He had to spend 150,000 naira to repair it. his entire savings, because without his boss, he couldn't work, and if he couldn't work, he would die of hunger. When rent came, he was short by 35,000 naira. Mama Caro, he said, removing his cap respectfully, because that's how his generation was raised. I have lived here for 10 years. I have never failed you. Please, just give me 2 weeks. My boss is working now. I will hustle and complete the money. You know what Mama Caro did? She laughed in his face, laughed like he had told her the funniest joke in the world. 10 years, so what? You think because you've been here long you can now stay for free? Old man, your brain don't spoil with age. That same day, she called her brother-in-law, the DPO. 30 minutes later, 2 police officers arrived right there in the compound, arrested Babatunde right there in the compound, put handcuffs on his 67-year-old man like he was Anini the armed robber. They took him to the station, locked him in a cell. That cell where they put criminals, where the smell would make you vomit, where rats the size of rabbits will run across your feet. The tenants collected 50,000 naira together to bail him out. When Babatunde came back 3 days later, he looked 10 years older. His eyes were dead. He packed his things quietly and left the compound. Nobody heard from him again. This was Mama Caro's kingdom. Fear, wickedness, police officers on her payroll, and everyone was trapped because where would they go? Have you seen rent prices in Lagos? Even a face me I face you in Mushin was now 200,000 naira. They had no choice but to endure. Sister Ngozi would whisper to other tenants late at night, God will punish that woman one day, mark my words. But days became weeks, weeks became months, and Mama Caro only got worse. Then, one Thursday afternoon in September, everything changed. A girl came to look at room 13, the small room at the back, the one that faced the generator house and smelled like diesel all day. She was alone, carrying just one Ghana must-go bag. She looked about 23, maybe 25, slim, calm, had this energy about her like she'd seen things that would make you cry but decided to smile instead. Good afternoon, ma, she greeted Mama Caro politely. I'm looking for a room. I heard you have one available. Yes now, Mama Caro said, already calculating profit in her head. Room 13, very fine room, 180,000 naira per year. Pay now or leave my compound. The girl nodded. I can pay 1 year in advance. Mama Caro's eyes nearly fell out of her head. 1 year in advance in this Lagos where people were begging for pay small installment plans? She tried to play it cool, but her hands were already shaking with greed. My daughter, very good, very sensible girl. What is your name? Zainab. Okay, Zainab, come, let me show you the room. The room was terrible. I'm talking about ceiling with cracks so big you could see the sky, window broken, one socket working, toilet that you had to fetch water to flush. But Zainab looked around and nodded. I'll take it. She opened her bag right there and counted out 180,000 naira, fresh notes. Mama Caro's hands trembled as she collected the money. She couldn't believe her luck. Welcome to my compound, oh. If you need anything, just call me. I'm like a mother to all my tenants. Sister Ngozi, who was passing by, almost choked on his own spit. Mother? Mama Caro was like a mother the way a python is like a teddy bear. For 2 weeks, Zainab was quiet. She would leave early, around 6 a.m., and come back late at night, around 11 p.m. Nobody knew where she went. Nobody knew what she did. She greeted everyone politely but never stopped to chat. That girl is strange, the tenant whispered. Too calm, something is not normal about her. But they left her alone. In Lagos, you mind your business or business will mind you. Then, one Saturday afternoon, Wahala started. Mama Caro woke up in a terrible mood. Her boyfriend, yes, at 52, she had a boyfriend, had been seen with a younger woman at ShopRite. Mama Caro was angry, the kind of angry where you're looking for someone to destroy just to feel better. She walked around the compound looking for problems, checking rooms, shouting at children playing. Then she reached Zainab's door and started banging. Open this door now. Zainab opened it calmly. Yes, Mama. I need to inspect my room. Before Zainab could respond, Mama Caro pushed past her inside, started touching things, throwing things aside, looking for anything to complain about. What is this? She screamed, pointing at absolutely nothing. You are burning candles in my room. You want to burn down my house? There were no candles anywhere. The room had NEPA light, but Mama Caro was looking for trouble, and trouble doesn't need to make sense. Mama, I don't burn candles, Zainab said quietly. Are you calling me a liar? Mama Caro's voice went up 3 octaves.
"You, small girl, you are calling me a liar in my own house?" The other tenant heard the shouting and came outside. They knew what was coming. They'd seen this movie before. "Mama, I'm not calling you a liar. I'm just saying slap." Mama Caro slapped Zainab across her face, hard. The sound echoed across the compound like a gunshot. The compound went silent. Even the generator stopped making noise. For a moment, Zainab just stood there. Then something changed in her eyes. Something dark. Something that made the air feel heavy, like before a thunderstorm.
You
"You should not have done that," Zainab said softly. Mama Caro laughed. "What will you do?" "Nothing. You will do nothing because I am the landlady here. I own this place. I own you." She raised her hand to slap Zainab again. That's when Zainab caught her hand mid-air. Mama Caro tried to pull away, twisted, pulled, used all her strength, but Zainab's grip was like iron, like concrete, like her hand was locked in a car door. "Let me go," she screamed. "Let me go or I will call police."
My brother-in-law is DPO. He will lock you up forever. Call him, Zainab said, her voice still quiet, but with something in it that made everyone watching feel cold. "Please, call him right now." Mama Caro pulled out her phone with her free hand, her fingers shaking. She dialed. "Brother me, come quickly to my house. One mad girl is attacking me. She wants to kill me. Bring your men." She hung up and smiled at Zainab with pure evil in her eyes. "You are finished. In 10 minutes, you will be in cell. I hope you enjoy prison food." But Zainab just smiled back, and that smile was the most terrifying thing anyone in that compound had ever seen. She released Mama Caro's hand and stepped back. The entire compound waited. 10 minutes felt like 10 hours. Everyone stood frozen, watching, waiting. Then they heard it. The sound of a Hilux van. The DPO's vehicle stopped outside the gate. 3 officers jumped out, big men with guns and batons, looking like they were going to war. The DPO was a tall man with a potbelly that had its own area code. He'd been helping Mama Caro terrorize tenants for 5 years. She paid him 50,000 naira every month, and he did whatever she wanted. "Where is she?" he shouted, entering the compound. "Where is the troublemaker?" Mama Caro ran to him like he was her savior. "That one there, that small girl, she attacked me. Look at my hand. She nearly broke my bones." The DPO looked at Zainab. He expected fear, expected begging, expected crying. But Zainab just stood there, arms folded, that same small smile on her face. "You," the DPO said, walking toward her with his chest pushed out. "What is your name?" "Zainab." "Zainab what? Full name?" "Just Zainab. That's all you need to know." The other officers gasped. Nobody talked to the DPO like that. Not in Lagos, not anywhere. The DPO's face turned red. "You have mouth, eh? We will see if you will still have mouth in the station. Boys, arrest her." The 2 other officers moved towards Zainab, grabbed her arms roughly, one on each side. "You are under arrest," the DPO announced proudly. "Anything you say will be used against you." Zainab looked at the hands holding her. Then she looked up at the DPO. Her smile grew wider. "I'm giving you one chance. Release me, apologize, leave this compound. If you do that, I'll forget everything." The DPO laughed so hard his belly shook. "You hear this small girl? She's threatening me. Me, the same man who has locked up armed robbers." He moved closer to Zainab's face. "Let me tell you something. Where you are going, there is no AC, no fan, just concrete floor and cockroaches. By tomorrow, you will be crying for your mama." "I warned you," Zainab said. Then she moved. What happened next, nobody could explain properly. Even now, when they tell the story, their words don't make sense. Zainab twisted in a way that seemed impossible. The 2 officers holding her suddenly flew backwards through the air, literally flew, and crashed into the compound wall. They fell down and didn't move. The DPO reached for his baton, but before his hand could touch it, Zainab was standing in front of him. She didn't walk, she didn't run, she just appeared. She grabbed his uniform with one small hand and lifted him off the ground. The DPO was over 100 kg, but Zainab held him up with one hand like a bag of rice from the market. "Put me down," he screamed, legs kicking in the air. "This is assault. You will go to Kirikiri for life." "You've been helping this wicked woman destroy innocent people," Zainab said. Her voice not loud, but everyone heard it clearly. "You take her money and do her dirty work. You arrest people who've done nothing wrong. You think because you have uniform, you are above God?" She shook him like a mother shaking a naughty child. Then she threw him. Not hard, just far. The DPO flew through the air and landed in the big gutter at the edge of the compound. The gutter that was full of black water and waste and things you don't want to think about. Splash! He came up covered in filth, coughing, spitting, looking like he'd been baptized by the devil. The compound erupted. Some screamed, some ran into their rooms. Sister Ngozi fell to her knees, making the sign of the cross, speaking in tongues. Mama Caro stood frozen, mouth open so wide a whole ageje bread could fit inside. "Who are you?" she whispered. "Who are you?" Zainab turned to look at her, and in that moment, Mama Caro saw something in Zainab's eyes that made her blood turn to ice. "I'm just a girl looking for a place to live in peace. But you couldn't let that happen. You had to show me you are the landlady. You have power here." She walked towards Mama Caro slowly. Each step made Mama Caro move backward. "Let me tell you about power, Mama Caro. Real power is not in shouting, not in beating people weaker than you, not in using police to terrorize the poor. Real power is knowing when to be strong and when to be kind." Mama Caro's legs were shaking so badly she could barely stand. "Please," she whispered, "please don't hurt me." "Hurt you?" Zainab laughed, but it wasn't a happy laugh. "Why would I hurt you? Look at you. You have money, you have property, but you have no friends, no family, no peace. Everybody here hates you. They pray for your downfall every night. Is that the life you want?" Tears started rolling down Mama Caro's face. Real tears. For the first time in years, she was crying genuine tears. The DPO climbed out of the gutter, dripping. He looked at Zainab with pure terror. Let's go," he called to his officers. They got up and started running. "Wait," Zainab called. They stopped immediately. "Before you leave, I want you to know I have video of everything. You trying to arrest me without real cause. If I send this to your Oga at Area F, what do you think will happen?" The DPO's eyes went wide. Please don't send it. I have family, children in school." "Then do your job properly from now on. Stop taking bribes. Stop oppressing the poor. Be a real police officer. Can you do that?" "Yes, I swear, I promise." "Good. Now go clean yourself. You smell like last week's akara." They practically ran out of the compound. Sister Ngozi was the first to speak. "Who are you? Are you Babalawo Pikin, Juju woman?" Zainab laughed, a real laugh this time. "I'm not a Juju woman. I'm just someone who learned taekwondo. My father was in the army. He taught me to fight and protect people who can't protect themselves." She looked at Mama Caro, still crying. "Tell me, why are you so wicked?" For a long time, Mama Caro couldn't speak. Then the words came out. "My husband left me 10 years ago. He took everything and ran away with a 22-year-old girl. I was left with only this house. I was so angry. I wanted everyone else to feel my pain." The compound was silent. "Pain is not an excuse to hurt others," Zainab said gently. "Your husband hurt you, but Sister Ngozi didn't hurt you. Babatunde didn't hurt you. Yes, you made them suffer." Mama Caro nodded, still crying. "I know. I didn't know how to stop." "It's not too late to change." Mama Caro looked around at all the faces, saw the fear, the hatred, the pain. "I'm sorry," she said, her voice breaking. "Sister Ngozi, I'm sorry for beating you, for taking your money when your daughter was sick." She turned to everyone. "I'm sorry to all of you. I've been wicked. I've been cruel. I don't expect forgiveness, but I promise I will change." Sister Ngozi stepped forward, tears running down her face too. "We all make mistakes. If you truly want to change, we'll give you a chance." One by one, the tenants nodded. From that day, Mama Caro became different. She reduced everyone's rent by 40%, fixed all the broken windows, stopped shouting, and started greeting people with kindness. When tenants were late with rent, she would ask what was wrong and try to help. Zainab lived there for 2 more years, became like family to everyone. Then one morning, she packed her bag and said goodbye. "Where are you going?" Mama Caro asked, crying. "There are other places that need help," Zainab said with a smile. "Other wicked landlords who need to learn. Other Mama Caros who need to meet their match." As she walked out, every tenant came to wave goodbye, and Mama Caro stood at her doorway whispering, "Thank you. Thank you for showing me who I could be." Years later, people still tell the story of the wicked landlady who met her match. They tell it to remind everyone that wickedness never wins, that change is always possible. And sometimes late at night, when the compound is quiet, you can hear Mama Caro praying, not for money, not for power, but for the strength to remain kind, because the wicked landlady learned her lesson. And it made all the difference.